celebrating dads and talk about some great things, I'd like to bring in Sandy Gasbarro.
And happy Father's Day almost to you.
Almost.
Almost.
I think it's one of those holidays like moms, we should celebrate more than one day. So, just my opinion.
Well, especially if you have more than one kid.
Absolutely. And I've got 4, so I need to get celebrated like 4 times as much. So, we're usually talking about wines. We had a great conversation last month about National Wine Day. This month, to celebrate dads, we need to take it a step further. So Sandy's actually going to be educating me, but she brought 3 things that could be fabulous ideas for Dad for Father's Day.
Dads love whiskey.
They do? That's
dads
good.
love whiskey. A lot of dads love cigars. I was born and bred in the South, so I had a daddy who taught me everything I know about bourbon. So we're going to actually save this very special bottle for last.
All right, we'll talk about that one last.
So we're in New England, so some dads like sipping rum.
Yeah.
Especially the daddies who are sailors. And I brought with me, actually you were familiar with this, Rick.
Yep.
It's brand new to us in Massachusetts, but it's Santa Teresa 1796 Solera rum from Venezuela. It's actually a cane rum.
A cane rum, okay.
It's a cane rum, and it's produced using the Solera method, so it's a fractional blending method. Where you've got barrels of rum that are as old as 35 years and as young as 4.
Really?
And as they pull, it's like a pyramid, and as they pull the rum out of the bottom barrels to actually bottle the rum, they refill from the younger barrels.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't see this. I'm learning this
Learning
too. That's awesome.
new. And then they actually age this rum in bourbon barrels for a year so that it kind of...
After they've already...
After they've bottled it,
okay.
so that it merges all the flavors together.
Awesome.
It's got a really nice, sweet, vanilla, toasty. All of these, I'm going to use the word leather because they also have a little bit of a leather.
So I was telling Sandy that a friend of mine had this, and he couldn't find it, he said, in the States. He'd actually brought it back from a trip in Venezuela. So you're saying now it is available in Massachusetts?
It's available in Massachusetts here. Historically, and I'm a sailor, Rick.
Sandy loves boats.
I love boats, and I'm a captain of a sailboat. And I have a lot of my sailing captain friends who actually track vessels coming back and forth from the islands or from South America to
bring this in.
Bootleg
and bring it in.
And bring it in. So to Fred Biebenbach and the rest of you guys at Cove Haven, you can now get this at Chris Gasbarro.
There you go. You got a nice shit out. One of the things I want to mention too, because I had a question and I asked Sandy to confirm that I was correct, is that gift certificates year-round.
Year-round.
So, and it's like a nice gift card, so it's not like a paper certificate or something. But if you're looking for that to let Dad select his own things, I'm not sure what he wants. I think everybody we're talking about today is something that you could work on, but definitely Chris Gasbarro's, and I confirmed that with Sandy before the show, that you can get the gift cards.
And in all denominations, so.
Perfect.
If you want to spend $25 on Dad, or if you've got a dad that you want to get into
little
the
higher.
hundreds
Let's
or
go a little higher
thousands,
on
we
Dad.
can accommodate all of them.
All right, let's go with this.
So the next I'm going to, and this is a really good suggestion for doing a gift certificate, was when you start getting into scotches, the taste varies so dramatically. And you've got the blends, the Johnny Walker Blues, that are so smooth and easy sipping, which is more to my taste. But then you've got something like this. Lagavulin 16-year-old will put hair on your chest.
Really?
It will put hair on your little son's chest. It's an Islay Scotch, so it's very heavily peated, very smoky. To me, it's offensive, but people that love peated Scotch, which
like
a great majority of Scotch drinkers do, this is the Scotch of choice.
So is it because of the aging that it's that strong? Or?
No, it's because of the smoke from the peat.
Really?
Yes.
So
and from the region.
And from the region that it comes from.
From the Islay. All the Scotches from Islay are heavily peated.
Okay.
And this was an example of what I call a peat monster.
So is there, with the aging, is there variations of certain ages that are better than others, or is it just a
Not necessarily.
preference?
The odd thing about Lagavulin is the 12-year-old is actually much less expensive than the 16.
Really?
But again, you've got this heavily peated Scotch. So I noticed that a lot of young men that are just getting from the craft beer into the Scotches are going for these heavily peated Scotches.
It's amazing.
And I have to admit, if you pair it with a cigar, and I tend to indulge on occasion with that too, I can tolerate it.
So going to that and talking about what a lot of fathers enjoy, so whether it's you're sipping and relaxing or laying on your hammock like I'm going to be doing on Sunday and relaxing, or if you're having a night out, there's things that these pair up with. So I mean, whether it's a cigar thing or making a different type of drink that you want, or just simply having it on ice.
A lot of times when we used to, and we still do on occasion, where we have Scotch dinners, we do it with game.
Really?
Meats.
Okay.
Yes. Venison goes very well with roasted venison.
Now, the section in the store, for those of you who haven't been to the store like I have every week, there's the sections in the store. It's very easy to move around and shop to get all these things.
Oh,
and
gosh,
you've got
yes.
the people that are
Actually,
very,
we look for the big sailboat, if you notice the sailboat
Yeah.
piece of art, so you can find the rum easy.
Okay,
With
excellent.
the sailboats, and the scotches are right in front of the cash register. Everything is very clearly labeled signage, and I have a lot of Scotch experts
Okay.
that work in the store.
That's what I was just going to say. Is the staff is phenomenal. I was in last week asking about certain wines.
Very
and
well
answered-
versed in,
they-
in whiskey.
Yeah, and they answered the questions about everything. I had someone. There was some other person asking about craft beers while I was there last week, asking about wine. So your staff is very versatile on the things that are there. And
Yeah.
when you walk in, it's not one of those stores where you feel like you're lost the second you walk in. Everything is clearly marked, and you're like, okay, I'm going over here, and you're good to go. So.
And hopefully someone approaches you.
No,
2 or 3
they-
times.
all the time, all the time.
They do, they're all
All right,
great
so then we
about
got, so that was the rum, so we went from scotch, oh, I'm sorry, we went rum, scotch, and then we got the special thing.
Now we have the mother load. And we do have the mother load. And I know, Rick, I'm going to educate you
Yes,
because
'cause-
you're not a bourbon drinker.
Not at all.
Well, bourbon is the hottest brown spirit, and it has been for 4 or 5 years at Chris Gasbarro's, because I'm Southern born and bred, and my daddy taught me this a long time ago. We have been bottling our own barrels since 2010.
Really?
So before I get to that, though, the barrels that we do bottle come from Buffalo Trace Distillery, which is the most famous, the best bourbon produced in the world. Many of your viewers are familiar with Pappy Van Winkle.
So that's what I was saying,
this
so
is
I
it.
had heard of that, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's also what we call an antique collection. There's about 7 different bourbons that are extremely highly allocated that come from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. My personal favorite, and this is very rare, so don't expect to find this just on the shelves. To be honest with you, you're not going to find this always on the shelf at Chris Gasbarro's, but we get more than our fair
Okay.
share. This is one of the 2 single barrels. This is Elmer T. Lee, named after the master distiller Elmer T. Lee, who was the master distiller at Buffalo Trace Distillery for 35 years.
Now, I see like a picture, is that in the back,
That
or the
is
picture
him.
through the bottle, is that him? You can kind of see it
can you
through the
actually
bottle. It's
see
kind
that?
of- Yeah, I can
Yes,
see it
that
from
is
this
him.
angle. But there's a picture, I know it's hard to see, but there's a picture straight through the bottle, and I'm just taking that must be him. That's a pretty cool effect how they do that.
It's a cool
It's right
picture.
through there, yeah.
And at Buffalo Trace, which we go and actually choose my barrels, I have an average of 6 barrels that I actually have bottled expressly for Chris Gasbarro's every year.
So is that like a
From
private
Kentucky.
label?
Oh,
Or-
no, I actually choose my own barrels.
Really?
Not Elmer T. Lee.
Oh,
This
okay,
one's
okay.
this is a little more rare, but we bottle our own Buffalo Trace barrels. We bottle our own Weller 107, which is on its way right now, our own Eagle Rare, our own Blanton's,
Okay.
and they have a little emblem on them that says it was hand-picked by Chris Gasbarro.
Beautiful. That's cool. That's very cool.
Chris is not the big bourbon fan, but
Chris is a wine guy.
Chris is a wine
Chris
guy.
is a wine guy.
But Elmer T. Lee, this is my favorite of that antique collection because at Buffalo Trace Distillery, they don't rotate the barrels. You get a Jack Daniels and the
Okay.
barrels get continually rotated so that they're consistent in quality and then they're blended. Where they are in the warehouse depending on where they are, it's the heat from the outside of the warehouse in
Right.
Kentucky affects, it's called the angel share. Are you
The
familiar
angel
with the
share? No.
angel share? When you choose a barrel, we tend to, because again, I like Elmer T. Lee, so the barrels that I bottle often have the same flavor profile as this.
Okay.
They always tend to be the lightest barrel. They roll out the barrels for us to actually use the barrel thief
Similar
and take
to-
them.
okay,
Yep.
yep.
And every barrel that I've ever chosen has been the lightest barrel that was rolled out for me.
Really?
Because the angel share is what's been evaporated. So what's left is this great honey, and this is what I would call a honey barrel bourbon.
Okay.
And
So this is very much a sipping.
Oh, very much
Okay.
sipping. I would not contaminate this with water. If you want it cold, I would suggest using
Just
whiskey
chill it
rocks
off,
or
yeah.
stones to put inside. Maybe some people can just put a little bit of distilled water in it, but it's extremely smooth and honey and vanilla, and again you get that leather, which reminds
Beautiful.
me still of my dad.
Oh, see? So now, there was something that I saw, speaking of gift certificates that you can buy for Gasbarro's, I saw there's an event next week, right? The 21st or so?
The 3rd annual beer summit.
Beer Summit. I couldn't even remember the Beer
A
Summit.
beer summit. Right now we have 15 people vying to get in, 15,000, excuse me, people vying to get into this beer summit.
You're kidding
So
me.
the word needs to go out that it is a first come, first serve. We will allow no more than 400 people in the store at a time.
Okay.
There'll be a clicker. As they leave, we'll let more people in, but don't
Okay.
think that you're just going to walk in the last 30 minutes.
How long is the event?
The event is for 2 full hours.
2 full hours, okay.
And that's Dan's thing, the craft beer.
Yeah.
He has put together an amazing selection. Chef Kinwatt will be doing the food.
Oh, nice.
From Johnson and
He's a
Wales.
great chef.
But it's always an event. It's an event. The beer summit at Chris Gasbarro's is something to see.
There you go. So you take a look at that and see
Get
if you
there
can
early.
get there early to get into it. Is there any other events that you guys got planned coming up for the summer? I know that there's various things you start planning out now.
We actually do. On the 28th of June, we're having a small grand tasting in
Okay.
the Seekonk location upstairs in our tasting facility.
Okay.
6:30 to 8 p.m. on
Now-
June 28th, and that will be posted on our Facebook page within the week.
And you can buy tickets for that.
They're all free.
So, that's free?
They're all free.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. See, you got 2 things that are great that are free.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to the grand tasting. I'm gonna admit, I'm gonna go to that now. And then the gift certificate's going in. So if you need suggestions or thoughts, you can pair something up with the gift certificate, or you can just get the gift certificate, give it to them in a card. I'm okay with the gift certificate and a card, honey. No problem with that. But these are things that I'm going to take pictures of, make sure I put them on our Facebook and on mine, and Sandy will have them out there as
And
well.
if there's ever any questions, if you go to our website,
Right.
to chrisgasbarro.com, you can actually send us the emails. They come right to my inbox, and they get filtered from there. But if you have questions about the bourbons, I'm happy to answer them personally.
Awesome. So we've gone from rosés to wine to now bourbon, scotch,
Rum.
We've got a lot covered. I don't know what we're going to cover next month. Go back to wine, I think. Go back to some summer
Yeah,
wines.
there's a lot of wine to choose
Let's
from.
go back to some summer wines. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much for coming in today and
You
sharing
are
it.
very welcome.
You will see some awesome pictures of this, and we'll make sure that you can follow this and hopefully go buy some for your father, because it is a great Father's Day gift. So,
Wow.
thank you so much for joining me.
Again, you have
Awesome.
a very happy Father's
Thank you.
Day.